afternoon
How
or
you
good
doing?
morning.
Good morning. Morning. A lot of flexibility going on with your team right now. But what's your impression? Does it really helps that you can get you got a second round pick along with those two first round picks? What's your overall feeling about?
Oh, the trade.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, we like the trade. I thought it was a trade that helped both teams. I thought it was a fair trade. And I think, we're going to give ourselves an opportunity to let our young guys grow and develop and, create some flexibility moving forward.
Would you say right now this is just? I mean, you obviously exploring your option with the number 10 pick. I mean, you done had a variety of point guards, forwards, centers. Is it wide open to say at this point that you really looking at every like
I'm looking at
no
we're,
rock is not?
we are looking at every possible opportunity with the number 10 pick.
Does it factor that you didn't really have a you don't have a natural center right now on the you don't have a true center on the
I mean, you
roster
have
per
to look
se?
at that. I mean, I don't think you can ignore that. And so, we're looking at all options.
A lot of people say this is such a deep draft that you can find quality at this 46 pick. Do you agree with that? Or
I do.
it's always hard to find, looking for diamond centers usually.
Yeah, I think a lot of times it happens on got to be right guy, right fit at 46, and and in this draft, 46 in a typical draft might be the equivalency of 35, and so we're looking at it as an opportunity to add an asset.
You look at a lot of cap space, three draft picks. You look at this as maybe a chance to really kind of make an impact with the roster. You have some opportunities here, basically.
More for the long term than the short term. I think history has showed us that it's hard for young teams to win immediately. And I think the guys you're picking a lot of times now are 19, 20 years old. And there's been some luck when guys get 23, 24, but it's really hard to win if your core base is that young.
I was going to say, we've seen so many times in the past teams that are full of young, good players, but they don't have a veteran player or two if they can kind of bring everything together. How do you balance?
I think there has to be a balance. Sometimes you need a pecking order, and sometimes you need, But I also think that our coaching staff does a great job. I think our coach is one of the best in getting the most out of guys and putting them in situations to be successful. And so, we'll rely on our coaching staff, and we'll also rely on, some of the veterans that we have on the team. Like, Jason Smith comes to mind as a guy that, I think he's made incredible strides. He came, when he first came here, he's probably one step out the league, and, he kind of found his way, and he took a leadership role on last year.
How much? I know you constantly doing homework on players, not just drafting players, but even as parts of approaching, but unrestricted free agents. How much are you paying attention to that when it comes to filling out the roster with the draft picks and then saying, okay, these are the whole thing?
Oh, we look at the whole thing, everything. I think sometimes that impacts. If you say, hey, we draft this guy, we got these guys available for free agency, and we got these guys available through trade, and vice versa. You might say, hey, we got this guy available through trade, so we might get this guy in the draft. And so I think you look at the whole picture.
Talk about building for long-term, sustained success and everything. When you look around the league, is there anybody who's done that better than Oklahoma City? Is that kind of
I think San Antonio's been great. They've been a really good team for a long time. I think the Lakers have had sustained success. I think I think there's a few teams that have done it. And even on the short term, there's some teams like I'm drawing a blank right now, Boston, that done very very well in a short amount of time.
You feel you're in a good spot right now. I mean, with so many
Yeah.
different variables, you got flexibility, you got young talent coming, you got the number one pick, you got a lot of good things.
We feel
happening right now.
good about our future. We think the future is bright, but we also know that we have to make it happen. Just because sometimes you have cap space, sometimes that can be fool's gold. If you spend it on the wrong person, you can really handicap your franchise. And so, we'll look at everything that, we make decisions. Monty and I and then our group will sit down and we'll make decisions that we think that are best for the long term.
Are you even looking like 2 years down the road?
Two, three,
Like
4, 5.
free agency, you don't have to spend anything.
It's hard to look at free agency 2, 3, 4 years down the line. I mean, you look at it because so many times different guys pop up. A guy comes has a breakout season. last year of his deal. He had a good year before, but you look at the possibilities. You do.
You scouted North Carolina a lot. What are you seeing in a player like Kendall Moore? Is he a pro?
Well, I really try to stay away from commenting on players pre-draft. It's just I try to stay away from it. Every once in a while I slip up and do it, but I think sometimes I'm trying to keep my poker face right now.
Yeah, but I understand what John said. But when you bring a player like him in, who a lot of people would say he's limited on the offensive shooting skills, but he's more of a pass-first point guard. You have to bring him in with understanding.
Everybody you bring
players around him.
Yeah, everybody you bring in, you understand. Like example, like if a guy's just a shooter, he's not going to do well in a workout situation because his thing is catching and shooting. Or if a guy like Kendall Marshall, if he doesn't have 4 guys around him, you don't see all of his skills. And so we take all that into consideration. One of the main reasons you bring a guy in, you want to get to know him, one, see how he interacts with your coaching staff and then their